Good evening, everyone. Liverpool hit 5 in the Europa League and they got 5 points clear at the top of the group stage and pretty much guarantee themselves through to the next round, which is going to be round of 16, by the way, because we don't go into the round of 32 having getting a bye in the next round. Initial reactions first, boys. We're going to have Nathan coming on in just a second, but initial reactions from Paul. Paul, give me initial reactions. That brilliant game, brilliant watch. Obviously, conceded a goal, but it didn't matter in the end, did it?
Brilliant game. It was actually a lot easier than I expected. Not necessarily the scoreline, but the play of the Toulouse team. They look like amateurs out there, especially the goalkeeper. They look like schoolboys. So that was a surprise. It was a surprise. But we didn't have to work up too much of a sweat. It was just kind of an easy game. Our goalkeeper did do much to inspire confidence that he's a capable backup now for Allison. So we just have to hope that Allison doesn't suffer any injuries, because I wasn't really happy with the goalkeeper. But other than that, it was decent game. We have a few standout players. I don't know how we're going to get Gravenberch out of the starting 11 going forward, because he looks like a player.
Do you agree with Paul, Joe? Comfortable game. Was it expected comfortable? Paul said it wasn't expected because he thought, Toulouse were going to offer a little bit more. They didn't. Last offered more into the Union, but if it weren't for Kelleher, they wouldn't even have having a goal or a sniff at the game, would they?
Yeah, I agree with that, because I feel like most people thought Liverpool were going to steam through the Europa League like we did on today's game. I felt like the 2 previous games were a little nervy at moments, or a little bit of a grind, kind of hack your way through. But this is kind of, I think, the expectations we had about a Liverpool squad fully firing and how they would just demolish the Europa League opposition like today. So I think it was pretty, when we were clicking, Toulouse could not handle us whatsoever. There was the attack was just insane. And then, when you bring on Salah at the end and, he's just looking to poach a goal, pad his stats kind of thing. It's almost like it just speaks to the depth that we have in our squad, how we handled the game. But yeah, Kelleher, a little harsh on the goal. It was a one-on-one opportunity. I think he should have saved it. He didn't use his legs. I think he went down. That's something Allison really thrives at, is making saves with his legs. I think if you switch the keepers, it would, probably Allison would have saved it. But I still think one-on-one, it's a bit harsh. But the Kelleher mistake where he kicked the ball out and gave it away to Toulouse, and then Trent had to clear off the line. There were just moments like that where it's just contrasting to that season when Kelleher came in and absolutely bossed it and looked like he could challenge for first team. Obviously, you're not getting over Allison, but his demand was so high, and now it just seems like he's hit a cool patch. So, sad to see that. But other than that, I think the team was flying and a lot of good performances from our players. But what were your overall thoughts, Tim?
You know what? I expected to win these games quite comfortably, but like Paul said, I mean, Toulouse just didn't have a sniff all game. And having watched Lask against us and Union against us, I thought Toulouse might put up a little bit more of a fight, being the French league, a bit more competitive than the leagues, the Austrian league and the Belgian league. But I just think it completely highlights the levels of Liverpool compared to what the Europa League is, and the reason why they're favourites to win it, and the reason why they should be winning it. If they really want to go get it, they should be winning this, and why. We should be in the Champions League. As I know it was a one-off season, but we've still got the Champions League quality there, and it shows. I mean, like you said, Salah coming off the bench, scoring is inevitable. I mean, it's just levels, absolute levels, and I think it's a perfect springboard now in terms of if we take this Europa League seriously, we can go on and win this. And if we don't get top 4, it's another route to Champions League, but we should be getting top 4 anyway. That shouldn't be in conversation. I doubt it'll be top 5 this season, possibly anyway. So I think we can really, really win this if we take this seriously. Again, with 5 points clear, pretty much turned up that group already after 3 games, a bye into the round 16. We've missed out the Champions League teams, and so we've got round 16, round of 8 for 4 matches, for basically ties to win the Europa League from here on out. I think we've already won the group for me already. Jim Lucy is hoping for a Leverkusen and Liverpool final. It would be nice to see Leverkusen at some point, just to watch Alonso and see how it goes on against that. But I'm still hoping for Man United final in Dublin. That's what I'm hoping for, because I still think Man United are getting dumped out of the Champions League and into this competition. Apart from the obvious, Paul, Gravenberch being the standout player, anyone else catch your eye tonight?
Not just his goal, but Endo, I thought, was very busy, trying to win back the ball in the midfield there. I think he did some good things in the midfield. He must be under pressure because he knows that he has to put in a performance if he wants to break into that 11. And with Maka and Szoboszlai on the bench, it's easy to be out there and kind of scared, looking over your shoulder. But I think he was pretty decent today. Other than that, Jota took his goal very well. After that, he kind of faded away in the game. But as I said, it was just so easy sometimes that it's like the guys were just bored, But I would say Gravenberch, of course, but Endo was also probably the next best player on the pitch, I thought today.
I think the goal, but he took that so well. I honestly thought it was Diego Jota doing that in the net until I saw it was Endo racing off to celebrate. But I think Endo, it's a difficult one with Endo because we can say he had a good game in this, but is that his level, if that makes sense? It's hard to say, is he ready to then push on to the first team in the Premier League? Because, like you've been saying, Paul, Toulouse didn't turn up. So if Toulouse didn't turn up, then it's easy to stand out as a good performance, isn't it? So, and I mean, has Endo done enough to maybe push for a start on Sunday? Do you reckon, Paul?
I don't think so. So to be successful every year, you need to have squad players because we are in multiple competitions, right? And when we lose squad players like Henderson, James Milner, these kind of guys, this is where Endo comes in. The guy is 30, he's a good player, but I don't think he's good enough to be in the starting 11. But that doesn't mean that he's not good enough to be a Liverpool player. I mean, what we paid for him, he's doing a job, and there's nothing wrong in the gaffer saying, listen, you guys, you 3-4 guys, included Endo, the goalkeeper, you got the Europa League, while the big guys will play in the Premier League. So I don't see Endo right now as a starter in our best 11, but I also see him contributing. Think about those games where we're leading 1-0, 2-1, 10 minutes to go, and we normally bring in Jordan Henderson to kind of see out a game. Endo can play that role. So I think he's a valuable member of the team for sure.
Drew, going into tonight then, having seen that starting 11, did you expect Harvey Elliott to be on the right? Did you expect him to be in midfield? For me, Harvey Elliott is always going to be more of an attacking player, but he's going to find it hard to get into that midfield now, is it? With Gravenberch performing the way he is, Curtis Jones is doing okay, Maka, Sob, like Paul said. Was it a chance for the likes of like Elliott and likes of Chambers tonight to put in an Endo, another one, to put in a performance and maybe state their claim? But have they done enough to even give Klopp a blink of an eye?
I was a little disappointed with Elliott because I definitely think you're right. It's going to be so hard for him to find time in the midfield, especially in the Premier League with the options that we have. But I was thinking ahead to like when Salah will be away at AFCON, like that right wing is going to be a position that needs to be filled. And Elliott is naturally up top there or plays a more advanced role. So this could have been a chance for him to remind Klopp. I think he's put in performances this season to remind Liverpool fans and Klopp what he can do, but I don't think tonight was one of them. He was one of the players that didn't impress me as much, but I also, sometimes that happens. Sometimes, other players are on fire, like Gravenberch, Endo, even Darwin Nunez, I feel like had the complete Darwin Nunez performance tonight, but there's like so much electricity around you that you might not stand out. Like Jones, I think, has done really well this season. I don't think he had the best game today, but he also didn't do anything too poorly. And then, I think there were like moments of brilliance in the game, and then there were moments of just like lackadaisical defending or just like turning off focus. But I think, Paul said it was like when players almost look bored, or almost like when you're facing a level of opposition that's beneath you. It almost seems like you can have those moments where you're just like, we don't even need to be anywhere near top gear. But
complacency,
yeah. So, and then even with putting in like a gear 2 performance, you're still winning 5-1. So I wouldn't put too much emphasis on anyone's individual performance. I think this is the chance to stand out if you're going to really take it. But I think even if Harvey Elliott did put in like an absolute outstanding performance, he's not going to find himself ahead of Szoboszlai, McAllister, Gravenberch now in the midfield, and then you're not going to display Salah up top. So I think he's in a tough position. He's just going to have to ride it out and probably stake his claim for when Salah's in AFCON. And then other than that, I think it was just nice performances from some of the youngsters. Good to see them get minutes, and just really happy with Gravenberch. And yeah.
Nath, thanks for joining us a bit later than usual, but it's late over here now. We were talking about how late it is over here before the stream over where Drew and Paul are. It's 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon over here. It's pitch black, 10:10 at night. But there's a reason why we're staying up, and the reason is we've won 5-1 and we're 5 points clear of the top. Again, I've just been speaking about Elliott, we've been speaking about Gravenberch and Endo. Endo and Elliott, they both had similar opportunities tonight where they're both not getting in the starting 11, but they both need to put in performances against teams like this to prove their cause and to say, we're here and we're not going anywhere. Whilst we're seeing Endo do that tonight, being against Toulouse, who were very, very poor, as Paul said earlier, Elliott didn't do much, did he? To push, to even have be in Klopp's mind at least going into like Sunday's game.
Yeah, I think you look at Gravenberch as well, and you can see the other midfielders taking the opportunity. Endo's been a player who I don't think's played. I think who did we play first round in the Europa League?
Last first.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so he never had a great game in that one. I don't think he's been great. I don't think he's been bad in other games. No. But I feel like today we seen what he is capable of. Now, as you've mentioned, against Toulouse. No disrespect to them, is he going to be able to do that against? I thought they actually played okay. To be fair, the other team, I thought they were all right. I didn't think they were anything amazing.
The first one that thinks that.
I thought no. I mean, listen, it's a team that finishes mid-table in the league. I mean, in comparison to what that we should be expecting from them, they are miles behind some of the teams that are finishing top of the table. We seen a couple of weeks ago Newcastle beating PSG. It was the best team in that league by a country mile. Newcastle will probably finish maybe 5th or 6th this season. I think if we put Toulouse into the Premier League, they're probably on par with the likes of Bournemouth and teams like that. Everton, yeah.
Everton without the points deduction.
But I agree. I think Endo was fantastic. I think he done everything perfect. It wasn't just the case of breaking down play when he needed to. Last season, he actually got quite a few goal contributions in the Bundesliga. It's good to see him get on the ball today. It wasn't just as goal as header, which I've seen you say it in the WhatsApp chat, like it was like Jota-esque, like it was such a good header. But yeah, I thought he done well. Harvey Elliott's an interesting one because I always feel like he does better for us this season, especially when he's coming off the bench. But like 20 minutes to go when we need to freshen up the midfield a little bit and add a little bit of energy. But Ryan Gravenberch, it's mad. Like going from the start of this season, like I think everyone will be like, "Oh my god, how good Szoboszlai." It's getting to the point now where like I don't know, like genuinely, which one is better. That's how good he looks so far. Like it's unreal how good he is, and the fact that we paid 35 million for him, and Bayern Munich have got a midfield of. I understand they've got Musiala, and he probably will play that similar type role. But if you go into any of the chats that you see with Bayern fans, they dislike the likes of Goretzka and that so much. And the fact that they've let him go that easy, I don't know if it's poor management and letting him go or just not getting the best out of him. Or
we see it all the time that with players, don't we? We see it all the time. We spoke about Man United and we spoke about Chelsea. That the players, the likes of Jadon Sancho has gone from Dortmund, who was an absolute talent player. Goes to Man United, and he's an absolute shadow of himself. When he did play, he wasn't anywhere near the levels he was at Dortmund. And people say it's a step up in Bundesliga to Premier League. It's a big difference, but we've seen it with Gravenberch now, where he showed absolute class at 19 years old at Ajax. I said it time ago, where he was 19 at Ajax, he was showing world class signs, and his confidence that he had at Ajax was unbelievable. Go to a club like Bayern, you'd think he'd increase, but sometimes it don't work, does it? Sometimes it physically don't work under certain coaches. It don't work in certain leagues, but it's working for Gravenberch, isn't it?
Yeah, the trajectory that he had when he was playing for Ajax was insane. Like, we look at some of the players that, like, go back to maybe like 18, 12 months ago when like Gavi was coming on the scene for Barcelona. Like, he was in that like same type of category of like young, exciting midfielders that were playing European football that everyone was looking at thinking, if someone gets this player, he has got the potential to go to the top. Like, when we say the top, I mean like literally, you know, the small minority that can actually reach the world class level. And I think it's you've got to take your hat off to Klopp and the coaching team, because I feel like the players that we've got have settled so quick and they've done so well so early that people were anticipating that it was going to take us maybe 6 to 7 months to like get the midfield settled and stuff like that. And the best compliment you can give the management team and the players themselves is they just look like they've been playing together for a long time. I understand today the team was makeshift. You'd say what, maybe Darwin and Gravenberch would start in our best 11.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. And Trent.
So maybe and Trent. Yeah. So you're looking at like, you know, eight players that would be players that wouldn't normally play, and the fact that they're getting them playing such good football, and it's such a joy to watch. Like the team, the midfield. Again, not to highlight it too much, but if we can go and get a world class DM, I'd love to. In the ideal world, I'd love Alexis McAllister, Gravenberch, and Szoboszlai to be the midfield, because just putting that together on a piece of paper looks and sounds amazing.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we still like as good
doesn't
as Alexis
really work,
is.
Does it? Doesn't
No,
really work now.
Against certain teams, it will. Today, it would have been perfect. We would have scored over 3 or 4 goals. But against the likes of Brighton, who are very good on the ball, or Man City, or even Arsenal, or high intensity games where we need to have that player to break up the counter attacks, because we played at such high line as well. He isn't going to do that, and it's not down to it's not his fault. That's not him. Again, as we mentioned a couple of weeks ago, he only has Casado next to him. Do you know what I mean? Like for Brighton, and you'll have him doing all the dirty work. We've seen it with Kante doing it for Chelsea in the past, and it enabled at the time Jorginho to get the ball and play football. But yeah, it's an exciting time anyway.
It certainly is an exciting time, and everyone in the comments, obviously, Harmony normally on the stream with us tonight in here, but is in the comments anyway. Anyone that is in the comments, please get your ratings in, get your man of match in. Harmony gives Jota a 2 here. Drew says, Drew, I know you won't be happy that he wasn't good. He took his goal very, very well. I think that's what Jota is at the moment. When he starts games, he don't really perform very well.
Yeah,
he's always got a goal in him, hasn't he, Drew?
I think he just drifts. Like, I don't think he scores goals. He scores goals and he drives at the defense, and that usually causes chaos. Like, I think there are a couple times where he drove at the defense and it opened things up, and he might have been like the third pass out to say like a chance being created. But I think like he's kind of like, he's a mix between a poacher and that kind of like, he'll poach goals really well. His intelligence, like his body position, all of that is insane. Like, I think the ball got played over the top and the Toulouse center back like misjudged it. Jota ran onto it, and then the 2 center backs tried to like close him down, like, and he just bodied one of the center backs and then won a throw in high on the line. Like, his intelligence and his on the ball is insane. But I think he's almost like, not to compare him to Messi in terms of quality, but like where he'll walk or he'll just kind of disappear for a while. And
like I said, do you think he doesn't do enough physically? Like, he don't put enough effort in terms of getting to the ball. You know, I won't say he don't make the runs, but he's always there. Like I said, he's a poacher, but he's not like a Darwin Nunez where he's making incredible runs.
Yeah, Divock Origi. Yeah, I don't think he cares. Like, I honestly don't think he cares if he doesn't have the ball. Like, he's looking for the opportunities and he'll take them when he sees them, but he's not going to go out of his way to make something happen unless he has the ball, where he'll just turn and run at defense. So, and then at the end of the day, I think like when you score a goal, like that's what you want from him as a player. So he's doing his job. He's almost like putting in his timesheet, and he's like clocking in, clocking out, and doing his job. So like I can see what
and get his paycheck. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, exactly. Like when you put him against Tottenham like to win that 4-3 game. It's like you don't like he is one of the players you want the ball to land to in a moment like that. And if he's on the field and he does that, which he did today, he's done his job. So yeah, I know
he's actually a really good finisher as well under them type of situations.
Yeah.
He's actually really like you mentioned, he can be seen as a goal poacher. I think he's got that effect where I don't ever want to see him starting in a big game, but if he's coming on, same with Harvey Elliott with 20 minutes to go, he adds that little bit of something that we're lacking when the game's gone a bit flat. And his goal today, he took really well. I like, he is quite silky on the ball sometimes, but going back to the Tottenham game as well, like his finishing's a lot better than what people give him the credit for, like much better than what people give him the credit for.
Is there anyone you compared to him in the past? I mean, I'm thinking like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
That's what keeps popping into my head. Yeah, that's what it keeps popping into my head, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but I don't know, that he probably is the perfect comparison. Like, they've probably even got a similar body type and everything, and height and stuff, do you know what I mean? But I think
just
Josh is a little bit more silky.
Just don't manage your team, Diego. That's what I'm saying to you. Just don't manage your team.
Josh is at the wheel.
I'm not. That's going to get clipped up in 20 years' time when he's managing Liverpool. Paul, give me your man of match then, Paul. Obviously, Gravenberch is going to be one that's going to be mentioned. You like Tendo's performance. Nunez is another one that had a good performance. Who took it for you then? Was it Gravenberch?
Yeah, Gravenberch by far. I think if you do a poll, I'd be surprised if he's not the overwhelming choice among the match. There were a couple of other good performances. I mentioned Endo earlier. I think he was solid. Jota scored his goal again, but again got lost. I would also give a shout out to Matip. When you have a central defender and you don't have to talk a lot about him in a game and you don't see him, that means he has done his job. And he ventured a couple of times into midfield and make a couple of good passes, but he was very solid today. So definitely Gravenberch followed by Endo, and then I would really give a big shout out to Matip. I think he was decent today. I don't know what you guys think about Matip.
In terms of defending, I think he was the only one that really played well defensively. We didn't really need to do much defensively. Also, the goal came from Trent playing him on side, but it came down the left-hand side where Gomez and Chambers were. But Matip, he likes getting forward, doesn't he? And in a game like this, again, it's perfect for him like that. It's perfect for him like that because he can be a bit more, I don't say lackadaisical, but a bit more like, adventurous, I'd say. A bit more adventurous because he's got nothing to lose. What's he got to lose apart from to lose? But Trent, again, I think his passing was clear again tonight, wasn't it? Trent Alexander-Arnold. The cross to Endo was unbelievable. Some of those long field cross balls, it's like a training game on it tonight, Drew, for the likes of Trent and Matip.
Before you come in, Drew, there's something about Trent that sometimes just irritates me. When the guy's on the ball, he's the best. But sometimes he just looks so lazy. Because even that, we played that high line, and he was the one who was kind of peeping and allowed the guy to be onside. And I'm saying that's just lazy. But when he's on the ball, who's a better passer than Trent? I don't see anybody.
It wasn't even a normal onside trap. They were all in the other side, the other half. So no excuses for him to be in his own half when everyone else was in the other half. There was a line there to be seen. And it's not like if you're in your own half and you sort of like drop back a little bit, you're not on line with defenders. There's a clear line there to be a line defender because it's the halfway line. So what I think it was laziness. It was just laziness not to get back on par with your defenders. Drew, man of match for you, is it Gravenberch? Is it going to be a full house of Gravenberch tonight?
Yeah, I think it's hard to look past Gravenberch. Like that's a 9 out of 10 performance. Hard to not give him 10 out of 10 with what he did. Like his ability on the ball, like he can turn players, he can link up, he can take split defenders. Like he's got everything in his locker. And I really like the hunger for him to score. I think he forced a few shots. Like he was in positions where like very tight positions, and then he opened up for a shot that was actually not like a good shot that had a chance of scoring that the keeper would like claw away. And I was very impressed with his tenacity on the ball and his wanting to score, his drive. Like you can clearly tell that he's pushing for a starting 11 spot game in, game out, Premier League. Like he's got the quality, he's got the right mindset. His skills are incredible, and it's going to be hard for Klopp to overlook him. And at 21 years old too, like that's absolutely astounding to have all that package with that mentality at his age. So Like, I think this was one of the performances where he absolutely shone. And, yeah, it's Toulouse, but he's shown these in brief moments in previous matches. He's shown these bursts of quality, and then you think that he can control a game from the midfield by himself. I know Endo did an amazing job at linking up play as well, but Gravenberch was the star, and I think it's hard to look past him for man of the match, even though I think there were certain players who shone in the team as well. As I said before, Darwin Nunez I feel like this was the complete Darwin Nunez performance. Showed like very impressive for me. Like, I always was harsh on him for his touches on the ball. It looks like he's just been doing keepy ups or something for entire practices, because his touch was a lot better, but still has that. I think he gets the yips at time with the final. I saw in the chat, Dave, and I think I liked it. It was like he definitely sliced the ball for his first goal. And then, like, after taking down to the defender and the goalkeeper, just those moments where it's just like his head just kind of just has the yips. But I think if he can iron out those, he's another player who's got everything in his locker to absolutely shine.
I'm glad he did slice the ball, because if he didn't, he would have gone straight to the keeper. I think he would just try to put his foot through it. He laced it. But if you see it in fast motion, you can see it hit the outside of his foot, and it sort of sliced into the top corner. He was not aiming for that top corner as much as he might have say that in the press conferences or whatever. He was not aiming for that top corner. But like I said, it was a proper Darwin Nunez performance, wasn't it, Nathan? I mean, from the moments of brilliance of link-up play between the midfield and Darwin Nunez, to the moment where Gravenberch did score, where he put on the floor the defender, he put on the floor the keeper, and somehow missed an open net. Typical Darwin Nunez, but again, Gravenberch deserved the goal, didn't he, that he did get in the end.
Yeah, I thought he was fantastic. Like I say, he just seems to be getting better and better every time he plays. I just love the fact of how big he is, but it's like similar to Gakpo. He's so elegant on the ball, and he's like, his turn of pace and stuff is so good. He kind of reminds me of like what we expected Pogba to be when he signed for United. Like, he has got that tenacity about him. He's a little bit big and looks like he should be a little bit like clunky on the ball, the way Nunez looks, at times. But he's just so good on the ball, and I love the turns that he makes, and the sky's the limit for him. It's so exciting.
He's a proper Ajax Academy player, isn't he?
That's exactly it. Like, it's so good to see him. Like Drew mentioned before, like, he's 21 years old. Dominic Szoboszlai just turned 23. Like, them two players could genuinely be our starting centre mids for the next 7-8 years. Like, genuinely could, if not longer. But yeah, I thought he's fantastic. I agree, Ryan Gravenberch man of the match, but Endo's close for me. Like, he was so good today. Not to try and go too statistically, but his stats were fantastic as well. And the fact he's got a goal with a header like that as well, like we said, like a Jota type header, and we see, we all probably agree that Jota's very good in the air, and I thought he was great. But Ryan Gravenberch is so good, and the sky's the limit. But Nunez scoring, I mean, hitting the post was literally like, if you had to give one moment and put a clip into like 6 seconds, 7 seconds of Darwin Nunez's time at Liverpool so far, it would be that. That literally epitomizes the way he is, everything. Like, takes it round the defender, round the keeper. Like, he doesn't even just take it round the defender. He looks so good the way he does it. Like, everything about it, everything, even taking it round the keeper.
He knew what he was doing.
You know what?
Yeah.
I don't even believe that the miss was like, it was bad, but I don't believe it was like we've seen in the past where, like, I kind of disagree with you. I don't think it's like a brain fart.
I've seen worse.
Yeah, 100%. Like,
as well, from him.
Exactly.
Himself,
I don't think it's like a brain fart or anything. I think he just doesn't hit it well. And I don't think like that is a case of where it's because he has too much time to think of anything, which he probably does, but I don't think it's that. I think he just hasn't caught the ball nicely, and ultimately, it hasn't really mattered in a sense, because he's managed to he got an assist from it. He's got a goal. I don't know if you see when he was coming off, Klopp was smiling and laughing at him. Like, this is what you want. Home games in Europa League, this is what we need to be doing this season, giving players the opportunity to miss chances and laugh about it, but then ultimately finish at the final whistle and go, do you know what? Great performance. One of the players we brought in who's had questions about, he's had nearly a man-of-the-match performance, a young 21-year-old who we've got in for 35 million man-of-the-match performance. Nunez has scored and got an assist and managed to miss an open goal. And then we've managed to get 5 or 6 of the young lads from the under-21s in, and that's, you can't really, I can't complain too much. The defending
the goal, it was a perfect game, yeah. The Europa League could be a surprising good disguise, if that makes sense. I know we didn't want it. We wanted Champions League football. We should have got Champions League football. Even on the run at the end, we fluffed it right at the end, where we could have got Champions League football anyway. But it's allowing us to try these new midfielders. It's allowing us to gel this new team together. It's allowing likes of Nunez to get his confidence up again. Because Nunez earlier on in the game, I mean, his first shot, I think when it was like a little scramble in the box, and his little drag back, he did it to put the defender on the floor. That composure he didn't have last season. And it's allowing him to do this, allowing him to build his confidence and get his composure. Gravenberch, again, it's allowing him to find his feet. He is so good on the ball, Gravenberch. I don't think he's rushing what he's doing either. He knows exactly what he's doing. Again, in the first half, there was a time where he was on the edge of the box. I think he was on the left-hand side of the box. And instead of crossing it in, he knew he could come back inside. I think he dragged it back, and two defenders fell for it. And he got a shot off at the near post, and I think it was saved. I think it was just about going in, and it was saved. But it's this confidence that's building up now in this team. And this Europa League has been a big part of it, of doing it. Given like Ben Doak getting a couple of chances in the last few games, Salah coming on and getting his goal, even though he didn't play much of the game, Salah's still getting his goal and still getting his, keeping it going. He's ticking it off. And the more goals he gets in the Europa League, same with Nunez, the more goals he's get, the more chance he's going to take it into the Premier League and then into the cups.
Salah's goal was he actually broke a record today, didn't he? I don't know if you've seen it. Salah's goal took him, he's now the top goal scoring player from any Premier League club, like in European football. He surpassed Henry, I think it was.
It's ridiculous.
It's just ridiculous. It is. He's a winger. Mad.
And this in the end, because I've said it before, I said that if we show this season that we're capable of going again to the Champions League, going again to the Premier League, I think Salah stays.
Yeah.
I know. I think he might go to Saudi Arabia at some point, but if we show potential of winning, we've got potential to win the league again. I think he stays because I think he wants to rack up his Premier League legacy and being the best Premier League player ever. Because he's pushing it. He's already on the cusp of Gerrard. I still can't see he's better than Gerrard, but I can't do it because I know what Gerrard did for us and I know what teams Gerrard play with us.
Yeah.
I can't. It's going to take a lot for someone to take over Gerrard. A lot. Because he worked miracles with tuppence. He was like Jurgen Klopp with FSG money. That's exactly what Gerrard was, just on the pitch. To wrap it up then, Drew, going into Sunday's game, is it hard for Klopp to turn down Gravenberch, McAllister, Szoboszlai as a midfield three?
Yeah, no, I think that I'd be curious to give that a go. Go again, because we're playing Nottingham Forest, so it's not.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna have to worry about. We were talking before about like the Man Cities, the Brightons, the teams that can really push us. So maybe we'll we will have the dominating share of the possession. So I think it'd be really exciting to see what those three can do, and just. If there's a game to do it, this is a perfect one. I'm not too worried. And I think the quality that we've seen today, the quality we know we have in the lineup, I'm not too chuffed about who we put on the field. We should have enough to get it done regardless of who's playing. So just excited to see the match and hopefully have a similar outcome where we can just enjoy the games, watch some great football, and not have to have a heart attack like we have in previous matches too often.
Yeah, I always go back to playing Nottingham Forest away last year. I think it was after our kickoff and we lost, and that was an absolute complete opposite of what I'm seeing right now. The confidence in the team is something different, and the attacking force, Paul. Darwin Nunez started tonight. Gakpo came off the bench. Salah came off the bench. But the way Darwin Nunez played tonight, he's got to start again on Sunday, hasn't he?
Oh, without a doubt. I would be surprised if the front three is not Luis Diaz, Darwin, and Salah. Gakpo, I think, is a little bit behind Jota right now in terms of who is next in line. Just like probably Endo might be slightly moving ahead of Jones in terms of next in line in the midfield too. But I think for sure our best midfield three is Salah, Darwin, and Lucho. So I would be surprised if there's anything else other than that three. the defense is where we're not sure who's going to partner Van Dijk. Will it be Matip? Will it be Gomez? He was okay tonight. Or what about Kwanzaa? Who I don't know. I would like to hear what you guys think about who should start beside the captain at the back.
Nathan, I don't think it matters too much against Nottingham Forest. I'm not going to put Nottingham Forest down here, but obviously Konate is going to be the main one with Van Dijk. That's going to be thrown out. It's obvious that Konate is the next big thing in terms of defence. But would you give Matip another go? Would you give Gomez another go on Sunday?
I think it all depends on what situation Konate is in terms of like his physical side of his game, because he's been someone similar to it. I think Nunez has had a couple of niggles. It was like since we signed him, I feel like Konate, he probably has, like, but I just feel like you never get to see him for more than like 4 or 5 games in a row. Against Forest at home, I think any of them players that you've named there should be able to start and play with Van Dijk and get a win. I don't think it'll be Conte, because Conte's more of a left centre back. I think we could see Matip start again. I think he might start. It's going to be interesting. I think if Konate is fully fit, I want him to play together, run a games together, like, because he's the best option we've got.
We've got City coming up in a few games as well.
That's what I mean. I don't want to risk like these games that we've got coming up now. On paper, every game should be a win up to City. Do you know what I mean? And you want to try and keep as many players as fit as possible. But at the same time, the players that are not playing much, that are your better players, you want to try and give them some time in the legs as well to make sure that they are getting up to speed. Do you know what I mean? Because playing against Forest at home is completely different to playing against City, but you also need that time in your legs to get up to the speed of the City game. But if Konate's fully fit, I'd probably give him a game. But if not, I wouldn't be too concerned about playing Matip. It could be an interesting one. I don't know whether Taiwo Inoue, however you pronounce his name, fit. He's a bit of a danger,
no,
especially.
He's out.
Is he out? Okay, yeah, we'll definitely go with Matip. I'd probably rest Konate if he's still not fully match fit yet, because I just think there couldn't be anything worse now than coming up towards the City game when he gets injured, because he has to play, in my opinion. Yeah.
Forest is probably a perfect opportunity to take those chances in terms of Matip or Gomez. But like Nathan said, it's a chance now to really solidify our starting 11. Gravenberch has put in a good performance tonight. Nunez has started again tonight very well. I think Klopp needs to now decide his proper 11, where if it's going to be Gravenberch, Mac, Szoboszlai, start it. Let's see what it does, because we've got, like I said, we've just got Man City coming up after the international break, and we need to make sure we've got the best 11 out there to beat that team. I know we've got games before, but these games are the perfect games to see who is our best 11. And to me, it is the Mac, Sob, Gravenberch midfield, Nunez, Diaz, Salah, Trent, Konate, Van Dijk, Robbo, and Kelleher net. I'm just seeing if anyone
did you say Kelleher
I'm giving you a
goal?
little second there to bit that. Kelleher net.
Okay.
What did you think of Kelleher tonight, by the way? What did you think of Kelleher tonight?
Carries 2.0.
I'm not going to go in on him and anything, but the end of last season against was Southampton away. The last game, was it? I don't think he's a bad keeper. He's just not quality enough to play for Liverpool. If someone comes in at any point for 20 million or something like that, 30 million, I'd sell him. He didn't do anything wrong. Like, I know obviously he did do it. He had a bit of a mistake, but it didn't lead to a goal. But I mean, the goal they scored wasn't like it was a terrible goal to concede, but Alisson saves that. And I think other keepers in the league save it as well. Like, I don't know. I think he's a good keeper, but he's over. There's been a couple of games over like the last 6 to 8 months where I've looked at him and thought, I don't think you've got any better than what you did when you were playing in finals for us and saving penalties.
He actually took his chances and all when he did play for us in the cup, when he did play us in the other competitions. He took his chances in recent months, like you just said, he's not taking them anymore.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah.
Well, do you think it's like frustrating at all? Because, like you said, Damon, that's what I was thinking. He took his chances. He came in. Alisson had that little injury as well, where he played a couple matches in the league, and he did well. Like, he did really well. He stepped up to the plate, and then we were all like, we can't sell him because we don't want Adrian as the backup, because we all know how shit Adrian is. And Like, I don't swear a lot, but that is an accurate description of Adrian's goalkeeper.
Yeah.
But like, after you've proved all your worth, you're not getting a move. I can only imagine how frustrating it is, where it's like, what does he have? Like, obviously he can't just throw in and like throw stinkers in, but I could see him being frustrated with the position that he's in, because he's not going to get regular games. And like, he needs to move on at this point.
I think someone will pay 15, 20 million for him, though.
I
do
think
genuinely think a Premier League club would.
Just send him the Carling Cup and FA Cup highlights to them, and then we could get another 30 million on top of it, because he was a world-class keeper in those games. He literally won us a cup, 2 cups. You know, likes of him and Origi and Minamino and those cups. We won the cup double that year because of those. And people forget that, because they went on a quad run. But the first team didn't really do out in terms of winning out. It was the second team and Kelleher and Origi and Minamino that won us those cups. It's going to be a headache for Jurgen Klopp on Sunday to pick a front three. It's going to be a headache to pick a... I don't think it's going to be that much of a headache to pick a midfield three, because I think it's quite clear the best midfield three we've got. But what an headache to have for Jurgen Klopp to pick those front three as well, because we've got a chance here to beat Nottingham Forest, get some more momentum, put some pressure. Man City are going to win again. It's obvious, because they're against the rivals down the road. But we move. Another 3 points tonight in the Europa League. Hopefully another 3 points on Sunday, sorry. We've got 5 points clear of the Europa League group. We're pretty much through now in the Europa League. I know it's 3 games left, and we're halfway through, but we may as well start shifting those players in and out now in that Europa League and keeping everyone as fit as they can, because we can really push for trophies this season, guys. We really can. If we really want to do it, and we keep our best players fit as much as we can push for trophies. We can push for the Europa League, and we can push for the Premier League. And it starts on Sunday, where we need to keep this momentum up and get another 3 points. Keep doing this. Man City hopefully drop points. Arsenal drop points. See, I say that Man City hopefully drop points against Man United. I can't cheer on Man United no matter what game it is, unless we're literally on a title decider when we need Man United to win and Liverpool win the league. Then I sort of might want Man United to win slightly, but it's hard to say that. Thank you everyone for joining in. Thank you for Liverpool for winning 5-1. It makes our job a lot easier and talking about it without any negativity. I'm too negative most of the time in WhatsApp, so I don't want to be negative on streams as well. It's not good for my mental health. Thank you everyone for joining in. Thank you for Drew, Nathan and Paul, and we move on the Europa League, and let's go win against Forest on Sunday. Thank you everyone for joining, and make sure you like, subscribe and get your notification bells on as well. Thank you and good night.